What's up, everyone? It's your boy Jermaine back with another video. And what we got going on here? We got another walk into a video. It's just they call this area the Castro for the most part. It is Market Street, and we're gonna go hit down Market Street. That's what we got going on in this video, yo. So let's go explore. Let's have a little walk and talk video. It's a little bit later in the afternoon. It smells good out here. It smells like weed. One thing I love about Market Street is they have all these buildings that have these weird corners like this. Look at that corner right there. It's like a jagged corner. It looks dope. Like, you see that quite a bit along Market Street. This building here kind of has it. You can't see it from the angle that I'm filming from. This one right here is a corner unit too, but it's not as pointed on the end. As we continue walking down Market Street, we'll see more and more buildings like this. I'm filming this like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Lots of people out walking on the street. I attempted to start this video like 20 minutes ago. I got really distracted. You know, sometimes when I'm walking and talking, and I get distracted, you know. Just a typical quiet Monday afternoon. If you're watching this later, I'm filming this on December 20th. And it's just, you know, it's the day right before the holidays, you know. Lots of people out. Wow, it's a Walgreens store. So many of those have closed. I'm surprised that one's still open. Crossroads, that's a pretty cool place. I haven't went there in ages. Every time you go there now, they make you leave your backpack at the front. I think it's because shoplifting. And if I have to go to a place and if you tell me I have to take my backpack off, I'm not gonna go inside. Like, bottom line, I'm not giving some person that works at that store my backpack. Like, you must be ludicrous, you know. And if you're watching this video, I would not recommend you give anyone your backpack if they say, hey, we do baggage check, because, you know, if someone takes something out of your bag, you can't prove it, you know, and it's going to be their word against yours, and they're going to say, well, you know, well, we didn't know it was in there. It's just going to be some long deal. You don't want to go down that path. I'm telling you, you do not want to go down that path. We have Church Street. Holy moly, they made so many changes to Church Street. If I remember, I believe the majority of the changes to Church Street happened before the pandemic. I mean, you used to could like normally like drive down the street, but like you kind of can't do that anymore unless you're driving a muni vehicle. You know. There is it's a really popular Chinese restaurant I used to go to around here. Let's see if it's still here. This is not exactly the Market Street tour, but you know, we're pretty close. Oh yeah, it's still open. This is good news. So when I first moved to the city, this is before I was vegan, I used to go to this restaurant here. It's a Chinese restaurant. I know the vegan police are gonna hate this because they're like, oh, you're advertising for a restaurant that serves, you know, dead animals. Yeah, whatever, but I'm also advertising a small business too. So this is a small business. It's like a family that owns this place. But yeah, this was a restaurant I used to go to. I don't go here anymore because I don't know if they have vegan options actually. But back in the day, I used to go here. I turned on a friend to this place, and he could always go all the time. So if you're part of the vegan police, I'm sorry, but if you're not vegan police, maybe you appreciate this video because, you know, I'm promoting something that maybe you want, you know, because you're not vegan. And you're like, yeah, that sounds good. This used to be, this place is still open actually. This place is, I was gonna say this used to be a bar, but it's actually still open. I feel really awkward because I walked up and they probably thought I was gonna come in. And I'm like holding the camera and I'm like walking away. Anyway, I feel really awkward. Let's just go. Compass. This is like a real estate company if I'm not mistaken. I want to say this used to be a weed dispensary. I think it used to be a weed dispensary. A cannabis dispensary, that's the proper word. Or maybe that's the cannabis dispensary. It could be, I don't know. There's no names out front, so maybe it could be. I know for sure that there is a cannabis dispensary up here. I thought that used to be one. This is like, this is a really, really fancy plant store, by the way. Once again, I don't see any names out front. Oh, plants only. That's a really fancy plant store. Like, fancy. Yeah. You make $100,000 a year, you go buy your plants there, yo. Here's another one of those cornered buildings. One of those cornered buildings, you know. You got all the traffic now. It's 14th. Guys, I know you watching this video from outside. There's also 14th Street. There's also 14th Avenue. They're completely different. Completely different. Streets, you're gonna see those in Soma. You're gonna see streets in the Mission District. Once you get to the avenues, that's when you're gonna see, you know, 3rd Avenue, 4th Avenue. You know, you're gonna see the avenues. But you gotta get way out there. Get to the avenues. This here, over here, it's a pretty residential street actually. 14th. It goes down, leads down to the Mission District. Over here is this is a Safeway. I had this video that had a lot of views. So I was in this Safeway once, and you know, I didn't shave my face, and I rode a bike, and I had a jacket on because I had a hoodie on because it was cold outside. So I went inside here. I tried to grab a couple items. And I paid for the items, right? As I was walking out, the security guard was like, "Where's the receipt?" He was like really aggressive, and I cut the camera on. And when I cut the camera on, he was like, "Oh, you cut the camera on?" I was like, "Yeah, I cut my freaking camera on," because I usually always wear a camera, you know, just like you see the police. They always have a camera on. You know, if you see the police with a camera on, that should probably tell you something. You know, you should probably wear one too. You know, so I wear a camera a lot. I don't have it on. 99% of the time it's not on. This is that really fancy pot store. Sorry. I think that's the fanciest one in the city actually. I've went there once. I don't think I've ever bought anything from there. It's really expensive, yo. Like really expensive, dude. Not really expensive, but I'm just not familiar with their deals and specials and all that. But anyway, back to this Safeway store over here. So I got a lot of stories for this Safeway store, by the way. But yeah, I was trying to walk out and the guy was like really aggressive, and I was like, "Bro, I'm gonna cut my camera on and go get my receipt." And I cut the camera on, went to get the receipt, showed it to him, and then after I had to show him everything in my bag, and then I remember calling the manager right after it happened. So I called the manager and I just told the manager, I was like, "Hey, look, I'm a YouTuber, I'm pretty popular, I'm pretty known in the city, and I just walked in there, I was wearing my camera like I always do, and one of your security guards accused me of stealing some stuff, and it was just really embarrassing. Like, if you've seen that video, you've seen that video. And the manager was like really upset, and I was telling her, I was like, you know, look, like, you ever heard of Robinhood? Like, I trade stocks on there. I've been to hella countries around the world. Like, I'm a vlogger, I'm an influencer here, and this is how they treated me. Dude, the manager was like, I could hear it in her voice, and she was like, you know, like, wow, really? You know, you don't sound like a homeless person. You don't sound like a crazy. So she was all like, you know, feeling for me. I went back there the next day, and bro, security guards were like under a whole different regime, you know, because the day I went there before, there's a Whole Foods here. I always avoid this Whole Foods. I really don't like the manager here. We've had words a couple times, the store manager. And also Whole Foods. If you ever try to call like a regional manager, it's useless. So I always avoid that Whole Foods. Because both of these stores, like the Safeway and this Whole Foods, I'm not gonna say the problems that they have, but I'll let people say the problems that they have in the comments down below. Like, I don't want it to come from me, but I'm pretty sure you guys can tell the problems that these two stores have. But they have this problem where they, you know, they go after certain people for certain things, and they, you know, use your imagination. But yeah, so after that, you know, the video got a lot of views, and yeah, it was just kind of annoying. That's kind of how they treat people there. But I don't typically go to that Safeway anymore. I used to shop for people with multiple apps. I've sort of got to a point where I don't shop for people anymore. I've also got to the point where I don't shop for I don't really go to a lot of stores anymore in the city, because, you know, it's just so much easier to order things offline. And when it comes to food, I don't really cook, so I mainly eat out. So it's not like I just go to the grocery store to grocery shop, you know what I'm saying? We got one of these corner units here, but this is not, it's not like the same corner unit that I showed you before. But if we keep going down, we'll see more of those. Also, we got this building here, the Mint. This is one of those federal buildings. If you look at that, I think it's made out of some fancy rock that you see in a lot of those Middle Eastern countries. This is supposed to be a very, very sturdy building, and who knows what's inside. It could be gold, it could be artwork from other countries, it could be absolutely nothing. It could be literally empty. I mean, once again, who knows what's inside. But it's a Mint. It's one of those federal buildings. I used to live like a few blocks from there. Stayed there for a short amount of time. It's a pretty cool place to stay. Close to Whole Foods. If you stay near Whole Foods, that's great, you know. Okay, it's time for us to cross. Yeah, it's time for us to cross. Cool. And then we continue to go. If you ever want a suicide hill to ride your skateboard down, I would say, well, I wouldn't say, but there is a, let me rephrase that. There is a suicide hill. It's called this one, y'all. This hill is crazy, because you have to stop before you get down to the bottom. Otherwise, you're just gonna be going down. That's a crazy hill, yo. Over here, it's funny, like, we have the actual Mint over there, but then we have this bar right here called the Mint. I've never been to that bar, but it's probably popping. No, it's one of those like old school. Oh, I want to say it's one of those bars that have been here for a while. It's not something new, you know. Now this part of Market, right after you pass that Whole Foods, see that Whole Foods I passed not too long ago, the Whole Foods and the Safeway, you notice right before I got to that Whole Foods, there was a lot of foot traffic, right? It's a lot of foot traffic. See, it's interesting. There's certain blocks in the city that's very populated, certain blocks in the city that's not very populated. From that Whole Foods to here, from that Whole Foods down to this freeway that we're gonna get to, is kind of like a really quiet zone. It's kind of like a no man's land zone. There's not a lot of businesses that are open. You know, there's this random, you know, the dog barber. You know, there's a dog barber shop here, you know, for people that have to, you know, get their dogs trimmed and all that. But for the most part, this is a kind of a quiet block. So, see, this is one of the crazy things about SF. There's a lot of these low-key, dead blocks, you know. This is definitely one, you know. You got debris, shopping carts. I don't know how they got that out of Safeway. Got tents. Very, very common. You know, throughout the city, you see lots of campers, you know. I hear more and more people say the term campers instead of homeless people. And I hear more people say the term camping versus like homeless people, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. This is kind of a sad situation, you know. It's just, you see it all over the city. Seems like along Market Street they've built so many newer buildings though around on the corners. This is a corner unit here, but this is like an older looking corner unit. You can tell they built that back in the day. And this right here is a corner unit too. That's an older corner unit. You can tell they built that back in the day. This corner unit here doesn't have it's a shorter building. I mean, just imagine if this was like 5 or 6 stories, yo. Like the views you would have from this angle. You know, maybe if it was 5 or 6 stories, it would block these people's views. But like that would be really dope if that was, that'd be dope if that was like 15 stories actually. I mean, I don't even know why they didn't make this building right here. This building is much newer. I want to say it's about 10 years old. I remember this one being built. I wonder why they didn't just build that like 15 stories, you know. I mean, I think they should have just. I think they should just start building them taller, you know. Because that's one of the biggest problems with California. If you think about California, California has had these periods of time where they haven't built enough, and then you have you know, periods of time where they've just built so much in California. You know, like in San Jose, they built so much. You know, they built so many track houses. California is really big for track houses. You know, they should have built more stuff like this. You know. And I don't mean stuff like this, but just they should have built more vertical instead of the track homes. Because with the track homes, you still relying on a car. You still gotta drive everywhere, you know. I don't know. California should have taken the New York approach a little bit more. But California didn't want to do that because of, you know, the whole car culture thing. It's a very, very beautiful street. I don't know why. I mean, I'm just looking at how it's like, how like this street is like asphalt. You know, you see all the cracks and stuff. You see the colors faded and all that. But then over here, you see like, you know, you see the leaves along the street. You see the different color bricks here. You see the different color bricks there. And for the most part, if you lived on this street, this would be a pretty quiet street, you know, because you don't have that much traffic. But if there's cars driving on this street, the tires are going to make noise with this sort of street setup. Here we have another corner unit. This corner unit is a little bit older. It's not as older as this one here, but it's not as newer as the one across the street there. We'll continue to go down. This up here, this is a hill, by the way. This is a bike lane. They just opened up this bike lane a couple of years ago. It's somewhat new. It's been a couple times I've been bombing this hill, and I just want to tell you guys, just be careful when you're on this hill. What you want to look out for when you're going down this hill, you want to actually look up this way when you're going down. You want to make sure that cars are not gonna turn into this driveway. So this has happened to me a couple times where like, I want to say like a month ago, I was coming down this hill. I was coming pretty fast, and a car was trying to turn in this way. And the car saw me last minute and decided to go straight. The car was about to turn in. If the car were to turn in, I would have hit the car, you know, because, you know, it would have been just a surprise. Like the car would have just turned in on me. And another time I had a close call, I actually slammed into the side of a car here. Luckily, I was on my red power bike, and the red power bike has that massive basket. So once again, I was in the bike lane as I was supposed to be. I was in the bike lane. I was going downhill, and I was cruising, y'all. I was going like 20 miles an hour, because when you start at that hill, it doesn't, on camera, it doesn't look like it's that big of a hill. But if you cycle on this hill, you know what type of hill this is. This is a creeper, right? By the time you get down here, you're already at like 20 miles an hour. So I'm down here, I'm at 20 miles an hour. There's a car like someone over here, and you can almost tell when a car is getting ready to turn. They sort of like slow down, you know. I saw this, it was like a Toyota Corolla. It was some Asian chick driving. I saw it slow down quite a bit, right? And I was thinking, yeah, they're about to turn, they're about to turn. So I was trying to brake, I knew I couldn't brake because I was already going 20 miles an hour, like when I was there, and the car was like where that black Audi is, right? And the car went to make a right turn here to get on the freeway. And as you can see, there's like a no turn, and there's no turn photo enforced. I didn't know. I thought that car was actually about to turn. So you can see it says no turn photo enforced. So like right about here, I slammed into the side of the car. And it was the type of situation when I slammed into the side of the car, I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to stop. So the whole idea was, since the bike has such a large basket on it, I was just gonna send the bike into the holy cow. That alley, I didn't want to show you guys that alley, but there's tons of people on that alley right there. Like tons of people. Yeah, I'm not gonna say too much else, but yeah, lots of people over there. I didn't want to show you guys. But anyway, you know, I slammed into the side of that car, and the basket, pretty much, how I hit the car was like this. When I was going down the hill, I was slamming on the brakes. The brakes were locked. I was slamming on the brakes, and as soon as the car like got in front of me, I like basically hopped off the bike. The bike slammed into the car. Both people in the car turned around and looked at me and kept on going. And there was a bunch of cars like, you know, sitting around, and they saw what happened. They saw me slam into the car, and I basically picked up the bike and started back to riding. And you know, there was no damage on the bike because the basket, the wheels of the bike didn't even hit the car. It was just the basket, because the basket was so big. The basket just slammed into the side of the car, saved me and saved the bike. And you know, that was that. And it, you know, that was that, and this is this, you know. We have Valencia Street. We got another corner unit over there. And as you can tell, this corner unit is a little bit on the older side, you know. But once again, it's very, very cool. This was a corner unit here, but it wasn't that cool to really show. And if you really want to see it, you know what that means? That means you gotta come back to San Francisco, or you gotta keep watching all my other videos and watch my other videos until I go back by that building. Yeah. So that's how it works. If you want to open up a restaurant here, there's a massive location here available to open up your restaurant. You know, hopefully you open up a vegan restaurant there. You know, but you got plenty of spots there. And you want some sushi? Oh, I'll get sushi. This is actually a pretty classic building. Yeah, look at this building up above. Sometimes it's easier to like forget what's up above and you just see down below. But it's actually a really, really old school building. It's called the Allen Hotel. That's probably not a hotel that you're gonna find on hotels.com. I'm just gonna go ahead and point that out. I'm not gonna go too much into detail in this video, but that's probably not one you're gonna see. Oh, you need a Christmas tree? It's probably not one you're gonna see on hotels.com. I think that is more of a SRO. We got our torpedo over here. What's going on Market Street on the way to the Castro. These big trolleys, they go all the way up to the Castro and turn around. And that's like the L. This used to be a bus, but it used to be an underground train, but I guess they're working on it, so now it's like a bus. It would really suck to take that because it would take so much longer, right? This is a popular restaurant. It looks like it's closed down right now. It looks like it's closed down right now, but I went by there a couple days ago and they were completely open, you know. Look at that building going up. I haven't noticed this one. A lot of times if I'm not walking, oh, maybe I don't want to walk through here. A lot of times if I'm not walking, maybe I won't notice, like, maybe I won't notice stuff, because I haven't noticed this for a while. I remember coming through here and it used to be this, like, this barrier. I used to stand up on top and walk because I didn't want to walk under here. They've removed that barrier thing. It looks like this building is almost done now. Oh, that's gonna have some really cool balconies, yo. You see that? All those balconies coming down? It's gonna be really, really dope. So here we have, this is an old school corner unit. This one is not cornered and angled like those other ones I was showing you. But I guess it does actually have a hard corner on the end, but it ain't the hard corner that I was showing you guys before, how it's like a 90-degree angle type deal. But check out this one here. This one has a round facade on the outside. How dope is that, yo? Yeah, you don't see too many round ones here. Here's one of my favorite buildings in the city, and the reason I haven't even explored this building. It's one of my favorite buildings in the city, and the reason why I'll tell you it's one of my favorite buildings in the city is because of its location, right? If you think about it, think about this here, all you San Francisco freaks out here. If you think about high buildings, if you think about skyscrapers, they're usually in downtown in Soma. Some of the older taller buildings, not skyscrapers but taller buildings, are in Russian Hill and also Soma. But here it's a little bit different, because if you live here in this building, or if you live in, you know, I think it's 1450 Market or something like that, I forgot, that 1400 Market. Or if you live in this building here, or if you live in that building there, you have some pretty unique views, because you got angles of the city that, you know, if you live in the East Cut, you're not gonna see the same angles, because if you live in the East Cut, you're surrounded by other skyscrapers. But if you live at this building, you're not surrounded by skyscrapers. You can look out and see all sorts of views around you, and nothing's blocking your views. You don't have to worry about any skyscrapers blocking your views. Also, guys, this right here used to be the Honda dealership. This is going to be a skyscraper eventually. If I'm not mistaken, this area over here, this donut shop is gonna go soon. And the parking lot and the donut shop here, the donut shop and the parking lot, is gonna be a skyscraper too. So in the future, it's gonna be a skyscraper here, it's gonna be a skyscraper here, and I don't know what's going on here. I have no idea what's going on here, but they just put up all this, they put up all this scaffolding. Maybe they're gonna tear this down. This used to be an old Walgreens down below, but you guys know how Walgreens are. It's a free shop, you know, with the $950, you know, no $950, you know, you can shoplift them. But yeah, and we're crossing Van Ness now. And Van Ness has this massive bus lane in the middle of Venice. That's a really, really cool building there. I think that building is luxury. I haven't done any research on that building, but I can tell by the way it looks right now that looks like it's more of on the luxury side. Look at all of those freaking balconies towards the top, yo. All of those, look at towards the top. All of those are massive balconies. Those balconies go around the building. So that, right, you can just tell by the outside of the facade, that's luxury, bro. I guess if you did live in that really cool building that's over here, this one would kind of be blocking if you want to look towards the Mission District. But come on, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't mean to take any offense to anyone, but if you got enough money to live in this building, I don't think you're tripping out about not seeing the Mission District, you know? And over here we got, you know, this massive building. It has a really, really cool rooftop area. I don't know what's going on across the street here, but I noticed it yesterday. They very well could be taking this building down. That could very well be happening. They could be demolishing this building, and if they are demolishing this building, I'm pretty sure someone in the comments know. If they are, you already know they're gonna build something really, really cool there. And who knows, it might have a really interesting looking corner. It looks like from the top, I don't know if you guys can tell, it looks like they're tearing this building down. That's what it looks like. It looks like they're demolishing this building, and that means if they're tearing this down, it's probably gonna be a tower, yo. It's probably gonna be a tower. See, back in the day, in the 70s, 60s, they built this. You know, they're trying to build skyscrapers in this neighborhood. They built that back in the day. They also built this one back in the day. It looks new and modern, but actually it has a new facade. It has a new facade on the outside. They did a really big remodel a couple years ago, and they made it very modern. So if you actually go into this building, it has a very modern feel. Even when you get on the elevators are actually really, really fast and, you know, really, really modern. And it also has a rooftop area that you can walk around. I think if you walk around 20 times, it's like it equals a mile or something like that. That's for people who would rather walk around on top of a building versus walk around down here on the street with other people, you know? I mean, you know, some people would rather walk around on top of a building. Some people would rather walk, you know, down here on the street. And some people would rather walk around in VR, you know? It really depends on what you want to do. Off to the right, we have company Uber in Square. Thank you, Uber. Uber has really helped me a lot throughout my days. And a lot of people may think, oh yeah, you're an Uber driver. Well, I was a little bit more than an Uber driver. I don't want to really get into it in this video, but I did more than just drive for Uber. I did a lot more for the company. But I thank you, Uber. You're great. Hopefully Google buys you and you don't die, because your future doesn't look very optimistic to me. I actually listed Uber on a list of stocks that I would never buy. So yeah, I hope you guys survive. You guys have a lot of data, you know, but I don't think you're gonna win autonomy, and I don't think you're also gonna be able to beat DoorDash and possibly Amazon, you know. But who knows? Maybe you could prove me wrong. And I'll wish, dang it, I wish I would have bought more Uber shares, bro. Yeah. I don't know. For some reason that could happen. Maybe it cannot. That's $60 in groceries for you. $6 in groceries, really? Check out the app right there. It's a new grocery. I'll check it out. Cool. Get $20 off each of your first 3 orders with code. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you guys right now. This is gonna be the future. I have to save it for another video. But if you've been following my live streams, you already know what I have to say about DoorDash in New York and all of that, and what's about to happen in San Francisco. But yeah, here's another really, really cool building. This is actually a dope building to live in because you got some amazing views. It also has balconies. I believe from levels 14 to the top. I think the top is like 32 or something like that. This is not a skyscraper. Skyscraper is actually anything over 40 levels. And this is like, I want to say like 32 or 29 or something. But anything over the 14th floor is housing. And every unit has a balcony. So if you're the type of person that you want a balcony for whatever reason, you like to smoke, maybe you like to open the door early in the morning so you can get some fresh air, this is one of those buildings. And another thing about this building, probably the main reason I didn't move into this building is rent controlled. If you are a fan of rent control, maybe this one could work out for you. But if you're not a fan of rent control, maybe it won't. It's just I really like the unit I looked at. I looked at a unit on the opposite side of the building. The units on the opposite side of the building are cheaper than this side. They're a little bit more because, you know, you're facing the city versus you're facing the other side. And, you know, for the most part, I'm not a fan of rent control buildings. If I'd have to pick between a rent control building and a non-rent control building, I'm always gonna pick the non-rent control building. And just the rent control buildings, they don't have as many amenities. Like, for example, the reason why I hated this building so much, it had 3 elevators, but only one was working when I went to tour the building. And I remember waiting like a long time for the elevator to come down. And when I mean by a long time, I'm talking about like, maybe I waited 3 minutes for an elevator. That's a long time, yo. That's a long time. I mean, just imagine 3 minutes to go up, possibly 3 minutes to go down. That could just be a nightmare. Ooh, it's another Walgreens. This is an old school one. You can tell by the old school Walgreens, they don't look modern. But yeah, I remember that place, and I don't know. It's a cool building, but it's just like old school. They had no amenities, like no amenities, bro. The thing I hated the most, the elevators are really bad. But the thing about the elevators, maybe I just came on a bad day and like both elevators were broken down like randomly, you know, and I was just there on that random day. But the thing I could not deal with at that building was the package situation. So when you're waiting for the elevators was the same as the mail drop-off. So I'm waiting there for the elevator to come, and I'm just waiting there, and there's all these like boxes and like packages around, and I'm thinking, if I'm waiting here for 3 minutes for the elevator to come down, how many other people are going to be waiting here for 3 minutes for the elevator to come down? And how many other people might say, oh, look at that box over there, let's just take that upstairs with us because we've been waiting on the elevator for like 3 minutes, you know, let's just take that box because it, you know, it's from Amazon, it may have something good in it, we'll just see, you know. Yeah, I was like, no, I don't think I want to live there. But once again, it had really dope views, yo. Really dope views. But I don't think I can I think I can sit there. Okay guys, we're almost at 8th Street, so I think I'm gonna wrap this video up. I have been talking and chatting and doing this and doing that with you guys, and I think I'm gonna wrap this one up. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Wow, look at that little skinny building. I like that one. That was dope. I wonder, is it even open? Or I wonder, do people live there? Let's see. So, looks like the downstairs is a business that's closed, but then this door on the right, and there's a keypad. So yeah, there's probably people that live there. It's a very, very cool looking building. I mean, it's kind of like old school, you know. It's kind of ran down. Well, I kind of like it because it's like low-key and chill. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna wrap this video up. Thanks a lot for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you guys want to see more videos like this from me, let me know.